Hi guys, welcome back to the Game of Trading channel. Hope all are doing good. This video is about how to choose a company by financial ratio analysis. I hope my previous videos gave some worthful information. This video is very closely to screen a company. This video is educating for beginners knowledge. People who are requested me how to select a company, especially for their request, I made this video with a major financial ratio analysis for beginners. Beginners should follow look at before investing in a stock. I won't drag too much with this video as well as subject. Hope you all like this video. Everyone must watch till the end. Let's begin the game of trading. A stock market trader requires carefully analysis of financial data to find out the company's real worth. This is generally done by examining the company's profit and loss account as well as balance sheet and cash flow statement. This can be time consuming, right? No worries. I tried my level best to make it an easier way to find out a company's performance to look at its financial ratios. This is the easy way to check a company's health and wealth. Ratio analysis is crucial for investment decisions. It is not only helps in knowing how the company has performing, but also makes it easy for investors to compare companies in the same industry. First of all, it's PE ratio. The price to earnings or PE ratio shows how much stock investors are paying for each rupee of earnings. It shows if the market is overvaluing or undervaluing the company. One know the ideal PE ratio by comparing the current PE with the company's historical P/E, the average industry PE and the market PE. For instance, a company with a PE of 15 may seem expensive when compared to its historical P/E, but may be a good buy if the industry PE is 18 and the market average is 20. A high PE ratio may indicate that the stock is overpriced. A stock with a low PE may have greater potential for rising. PE ratio should be used in combination with other financial ratios for informed decision making. PE ratio is usually used to value mature and stable companies that earn profits. A high PE indicates that the stock is either overvalued with respect to history and or peers, or the company's earnings are expected to grow at a fast pace. But everyone must keep in mind that the company can boost their PE ratio by adding debt, thereby constructing equity capital. Also, as further earnings estimates are subjective, it's better to use past earnings for calculating PE ratios. Next is price to book value. The price to book value P by BV ratio is used to compare a company's market price to its book value. Book value is simple terms in the amount that will remain if the company liquidates its assets and repays all its liabilities. P by BV ratio values shares of companies with large tangible assets on their balance sheets. AP by BV ratio of less than 1 shows the stock is undervalued. Value of an asset of the company's books is more than the value the market is assigning to the company. Ratio analysis is crucial for investment decisions. It not only helps in knowing how the company has been performing, but also makes it easy for investors to compare companies in the same industry. Next comes to price earnings growth ratio. The PEZ ratio is used to known as the relationship between the price of a stock, earnings per share, and the company's growth. Generally, a company that is growing fast has a higher PE ratio. This may give an impression that is overvalued. Thus, PE ratio divided by the estimated growth rate shows if the high PE ratio is justified by the expected further growth rate. The result can be compared with that of peers with different growth rates. A PEG ratio of 1 signals that the stock is valued responsibly. A figure of less than 1 indicates that the stock may be undervalued. Operating profit margin OPM. The OPM shows operational efficiency and pricing power. It is calculated by dividing operating profit by net sales. Higher OPM shows efficiency in procuring raw materials and converting them into finished products. It measures the proportion of revenue that is left after meeting variable costs such as raw materials and wages. The higher the margin, the better it is for investors. While analyzing a company, everyone must see whether its OPM has been rising over a period. Investors should also compare OPMs of other companies in the same industry. Next comes to debt to equity ratio. It shows how much a company is leveraged, that is, how much debt is involved in the business capital equity. A low figure is usually considered better, but it must not be seen in isolation. If the company's returns are higher than its interest cost, the debt will enhance value. However, if it is not, shareholders will lose. It is industry specified, with capital intensive industries such as automobiles and manufacturing showing a higher figure than others. A high debt to equity ratio may indicate unusual leverage and hence higher risk of credit default through. It could also signal to the market that the company has invested in many high NPV projects. NPV or net present value is the present value of further cash flow. Next comes to asset turnover ratio. It shows how effectively the management is using assets to generate revenue. The higher the ratio, the better it is, as it indicates that the company is generating more revenue per rupee spent on the asset. Every expert says the comparison should be made between companies in the same industry. This is because the ratio may vary from industry to industry. In sectors such as power and telecommunication, which are more asset heavy, the asset turnover ratio is low, while in sectors such as retail it is high as the asset base is small. Next comes to dividend yield. It is divided per share divided by the share price. A higher figure signals that the company is doing well, but one must be cautious of penny stocks that lack quality but have high dividend yields, and companies benefiting from one-time gains or excess unused cash which they may use to declare special dividends. Similarly, a low dividend yield may not always imply a bad investment, as companies may choose to reinvest all their earnings so that the shareholders earn good returns in the long term. While financial ratio analysis helps in assessing factors such as profitability, efficiency, and risk, added factors such as management quality and industry outlook should also be studied in detail while investing in a stock. Return on equity. The ultimate aim of any investment is returns. Return on equity or ROE measures the return that shareholders get from the business and overall earnings. It helps investors compare profitability of companies in the same industry. A figure is always better. The ratio highlights the capability of the management. ROE is net income divided by shareholders' equity. ROE of 15% to 20% is generally considered good, though high growth companies should have a higher ROE. The main benefit comes when earnings are reinvested to generate a still higher ROE, which in turn produces a higher growth rate. However, a rise is debt will also reflect in a higher ROE, which should be carefully noted. Next comes to interest coverage ratio. It is earnings before interest and tax, or EBIT, divided by interest expenses. It indicates how solvent a business is and gives an idea about the number of interest payments the business can serve solely from operations. One can also use EBITDA in place of EBIT to compare companies in sectors whose depreciation and amortization expenses differ a lot. Or one can use earnings before interest but after tax. One wants a more accurate idea about company's solvency. Next comes to current ratio. This shows the liability position, that is how equipped is the company in meeting its short term obligations with short term assets. A higher figure signals that the company's day to day operations will not get affected by working capital issues. A current ratio of less than 1 is a matter of concern. The ratio can be calculated by dividing current assets with current liabilities. Current assets includes inventories and receivables. Sometimes companies find it difficult to convert inventory into sales or receivables into cash. This may hit its ability to meet obligations. In such case, the investor may calculate the quick ratio, which is similar to the current ratio but with the expectation that it does not include inventory and receivables. This is the best analysis you can choose any company by while going for trading. My upcoming video is what are the major elements to observe while buying a stock. I hope you all like this video. With I encourage you to share and subscribe and share my channel. Thank you.